Mm. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, honey.
Hey, you. I just had my new distributor in here. I think she's going to come to the meeting tonight, so I'm excited.
You did.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Why don't I have a picture? That's weird.
I don't know. Why don't you have a picture? That is weird. There's Miss Lanny. Love you.
There we
There you are.
go.
Ooh, you are on the big screen on my computer.
Oh my goodness. That's very close. Hey, Lanny.
Oh.
Hello, Jeff. Hello, Pam.
How's everybody doing?
We got Jeff.
Wonderful.
Woohoo. Welcome, welcome.
Hey. Brian from Australia.
Brian. Who's that?
Where's Jean?
All right. What else?
There's Linda.
Look awesome.
Who looks awesome?
Jean. Look at
Where is
Jean.
Where is
She looks
she?
awesome.
Oh, Jean?
Yes.
Miss Jean.
Look at her.
Oh, look at you. Oh, Lenny. Oh.
What is that cough?
What?
What is
I
that
think I
cough?
just have like a tickle in my throat. I'm drinking some bullet coffee.
Cindy Malone.
Beautiful, beautiful.
James Armour.
Alrighty. Okay. I am.
Cindy, your ears must have been ringing because I was thinking about you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
This guy ought to
and
meet
all that good stuff.
Bernadette.
I know.
Merry
no,
Christmas, Happy New Year.
Welcome, welcome. Who else is on? Christine and Rhonda. Woohoo! And there you driving. There's Peggy.
I
Hello,
always
Peggy,
feel like
sweetheart.
we're on Rumper Room.
Who's that? Who said that?
Yes,
Hi.
remember the window, the little mirror that
Yeah,
you look through? Yeah.
it was Miss Jean out of Boston. She knew everybody's name looking through it. And as a kid, you're saying,
That's
I thought
right.
she knew me.
This reminds.
She never said.
Always reminds
She
me
never
of
said my.
Squares. Is anybody old enough to remember that?
What?
From Hollywood Squares?
Hollywood Squares.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes, I loved it.
If I can remember Marlon Perkins, I can remember Hollywood Squares.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Yeah, I remember
How
Marlon
about-
Perkins.
How about the
too.
Brady Bunch with all these squares?
Oh, yes.
I know it's getting to the point though where you mention Marlon Perkins, you know, it depends. Like you get this look and then you're like, yeah, okay, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, true.
Same goes for Julie
We got, like,
Andrews.
one more minute. We got Robin on here. Hello, Vincent.
Marianne,
And,
you know what's really
beautiful.
weird?
What's that, Peggy?
No, it's really weird. Jackie Gleason, a lot of people don't remember him, and he's actually related to us.
Yeah.
Gleason.
For real,
Okay.
for real.
To
He is
the
from-
moon. To the moon,
real?
Alice.
Yeah,
Alice.
but some people go, who? Like, how
Yep.
could you
Frankie
know
Gleason
Jackie
and
Gleason?
Frankie Fontaine.
Right, right.
Well, Johnny Cash was.
How is he related?
The honeymooners.
How are we related? It's my husband's grandfather's cousin, so he remembers him as a kid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Johnny Cash was actually held me when I was a kid. He was really good friends with my parents before he got
Wow.
famous. Yeah.
Holy cow.
I know. I wish I had a picture of that.
Hi, Sharon. Sharon's on.
Sharon. All right, you guys. Do you see Tom on here? I'm checking.
Not yet.
He's asleep.
All right.
Happy New
Maybe
Year.
Denise is making him change his shirt from,
Yeah, did he wear like the same shirt every single day? That's what he did when we were in Australia. Oh, no, there he is. We're talking about him.
I'm a guy.
Uh-oh, look out, look out.
I'm a guy. I understand. I can do the same thing.
Adrian. Yay.
Woo! All right, Tom.
All right.
He's
How's
back.
everybody doing? Don't I look
It's a little bit
cute?
different color.
Okay, so you guys can say what you want about that Pixel phone. Here are the ashes of my phone that melted in Costa Rica 2 days ago. I have to admit, that's pretty sad.
That is sad.
Only you.
Mute everybody.
That's what you call a hot chat.
I can't find it. I got so I called Google.
Hold on.
I got a in the mail. So I was out of business for exactly 1 day with this Google, all the Google. I am telling you, I am the happiest guy in the world. I now have a brand new phone. I'm copying the data over, so I can't do any calls for you. I was thinking about doing them anyway. And hello, I'm happy to see all you guys. I'm sorry I missed last week. Marinko, your video was unbelievable. I'm looking for my beautiful, just crazy. Diane, you're beautiful. My buddy Kim Vincent's on here. I can't believe my eyes there. She and I met this. Oh, there's Denise. Hi, honey. She's jumping on right now. Adrian can only be here for a couple minutes, so I want to talk about that a little bit because all of you are all at Twitter about the app and where we are and the graduate school for all you 65 days in a wake-up people. And I know you're all pumped up, so here's the goal. Here's the deal. Get ready. The horse race is about to begin. Adrian Chenault, tell these people where we are. Tell them that next week starts the graduate school on here and also a little bit more that we haven't even told you about. But we are going to light your hair up. But I want Adrian to give you, he's only got a few minutes. He's going to go to I want you to tell them where you're going because that's pretty funny anyway. You're going to tell them that with his Bible study group. What's going on with you?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. I haven't gotten to see a lot of you yet, but we are so excited. This is just 2018 is going to be awesome. And I am so excited for what's to come for all of you. And that starts with this graduate school. So we are shifting gears in a huge way around follow-ups. We're going to roll out more of that with you guys next week. So we're putting some final touches on things. And on the app side of things, things are in the final stages. So we are now feature complete, which means we have put every screen together in terms of how it all works, what it looks like, and all the pieces. And it's really for the developers to finalize building the last pieces of it. And so we are on the home stretch. I am really, really excited. I just can't wait to get this thing out and share it with you guys. We are working on getting a swanky new contact mapping logo, and we're going to probably be asking you guys for some input on the final couple of options at the end of the rainbow. So that be on the lookout for a poll later this week. But it's just there's so much cool stuff happening. It all starts from this group, and we just are getting ready to load it up in a huge, huge way.
And it's going to be magical, everybody. Our job is to make your job so much easier. And we keep talking about graduate school. So what I want to do is talk a little bit about, at the very beginning here, because there's so many new faces on here. I want to talk, and Denise is here too, and she wants to talk about it. She's got, Denise has an unbelievable design eye. She knows what looks good. This app is going to be built for network marketers, and since 80% of the population of network marketing is women, and Denise is a 3-time speaker from the stage at GoPro, obviously her input towards how this app is going to look and feel is the most important part. And what you love about your phone right now and your contacts or any app that you've got is an app has to make you feel good and an app has to make you feel smart. And our goal is to make you feel good. You're going to turn this thing on. It's going to be just like I met Kim Vincent this morning. We were at Two Dog Diner. She's right there. I can tell, wave Kim so people can see you. We just met today for the first time. And here she is in this group and on this webinar because we had a great breakfast at Two Dog, and I know this woman's blood type at this point. And then I poured it into the app, and here's a picture of Kim, here's her complete story in my notes. So the next time I see her, I can ask her about the husband who sells in the web world, her brother who's in the web world, her dad who's down living in a boat on Lake Oskin, and he's an old career Kirby salesman. I mean, cool stuff. Her 2 boys, what her dreams are, what her goals are, what her issues are. That's what this app is going to give you. So the next time I see her, I can go with that. Or Kevin Hofsis. I mean, the same thing with that young man who's down in Castle Rock, Colorado, who is such a child of God. Just a Jesus freak from the word go. Really, really cool. Loves what he's doing.
Hallelujah!
Woo! And so what we have to do, thank you, Marianne. So what we have to do is get you guys to understand that the 2 interviews a day in the 3-way call, we didn't understand until you people, you 1,000 brave people. This thing was supposed to be a little bit like Alcoholics Anonymous. We were going to start with 40 men and women. And if it was 80%, it would have been about 32 women and 8 men. And go from there to, then it was going to go to 100 men and women. But by the time we went to that convention, everything went to heck in a handbasket because we're standing there in a room and we're already at 100 getting collaboration and buy-in. And then it's turned into 1,000. So you people are the pioneers. Denise and I, unmute her, understand that. And what we're trying to do is teach you, A, how to interview, then how to document it, then how to follow it up, then turn it into business, sort who the leaders are, take those people to the next level, but never, ever, ever do anything with those people that aren't in it for the business to make them feel anything other than fantastic about themselves. Just because they want to lose weight, just because they want to get rid of disease, just because they want to buy coffee or chocolate, that means that's what they're in this thing for. We're not going to try to make them anything that we're not, that they don't want to be. But on the flip side, we're going to honor those people that want to be leaders here. That works for the way Denise thinks, because she thinks differently than I do. I am this grab you by your throat person and telling you to be a business person, and Denise is all about being a nurturer, person of unbelievable peace. Take it away, Denise, wherever you are. Hi. The woman with her hand over her mouth.
I don't know what you want me to talk about.
Talk about what you're all about and why this app and why this contact mapping and why the coffee shop interview and taking that progression to get people where they want to go is so important.
Well, okay, so here it is, January. Everybody, January is a great month because everybody starts to think about where they've been and where they want to go, right? And so I think that one of the greatest things that we have to offer in longevity is the ability to be able to get to where you want to go. And, the cool thing is that you don't have to be the best. Like in most professions, to get to the top, you've got to be like the best. You've got to be the best salesman. You've got to have the best education. You've got to go to the best schools, all that stuff. And in network marketing, you don't have to be the best. You just have to be pretty darn good at a handful of skills. You've got to have a lot of determination, and you've got to love people, And so, and I think the other thing and the reason why women are so good in this industry is that you've got to let go of ego, right? And so, the app, it's definitely. I mean, everybody we're on the edge of our seats waiting for this app to come out because it's sort of the missing piece of the puzzle. But I was coaching someone earlier today, and she said, here's the thing is I was holding back in talking to people about longevity because I was embarrassed of the statistics of success. That whole thing where Eric Worre talks about, most people don't enroll anybody, and I said, well, when did you learn about that statistics? Like for me, I just learned about that a couple of years ago, you know? And she said, oh, you know, it's been years. And it's held me back because I don't want to bring somebody in and not be able to get them to where they want to go. And I said, well, you know, here's the thing though, is that you are a whole lot different in bringing somebody in than most people out there in the industry. And that's what GoPro is trying to do. That's what all these different seminars and when you don't have leadership, when you have somebody just sort of falling into the business and saying, you know, I want to make $10,000 a month, go, you know, and they don't know where to start. They don't know the skills. They don't know where to go to learn it. And of course, they're not going to be successful. But she is learned in the skills, and she's able to teach and mentor people, right? And so when you start with that sort of deck of cards, as opposed to sort of the average Joe just sort of falling into what we do, then the chances that she's going to be able to get somebody to where they want to go is a heck of a lot better. The statistics are a heck of a lot better, right? And so that's what we try and do on this Zoom. And I love that because of 65 and a Wake Up, so many of you have stepped into your power. Your life has changed on a certain level because of what you've done in 65 and a Wake Up, and having conversations, meaningful conversations. Even if you don't ever see that person again, meaningful conversations, there's this ripple effect that's taking place out there in the world because of it, right? And so now you're inspired and you're encouraged, and you have, you know, and now you're taking some risks, and you're talking to people about longevity, and you're saying, you know what, I'm not going to hold back anymore. And that's what's happened because of 65 and a Wake Up.
Correct. And what we're teaching you is how to not run people out of your, you know, Kim came to see me today. She had never heard of longevity. In the conversation, she asked me about it, so I finally told her. But what I'm telling you is we could have talked for a couple of days before I ever brought up longevity in any way, shape, or form. And if she never joins longevity and I'm able to help her be a network marketer in her company, I've done my job. And what I want you guys to understand is if you can get to what 65 days and a Wake Up is all about, I will tell you, and Marianne and I had a very powerful conversation. She might not call it very powerful earlier when we were talking about all of interviewing 2 people a day in 3-way and 1. Unmute yourself, Marianne. And she said to me, Tom, I've got so much follow-up from all the people I've already interviewed. I don't have time to interview anybody else. And I just saw Pamela Schwartz nod. So I want to punch her in the face too. Because yes, you
Punch
do.
me in the face.
Because,
Don't punch me in the face. I just know the conversation because Marianne and I talked about the very same thing.
you have time. And what you have to do is major on the majors, not the minors. So when you've got, you know, all of you have all these people, and somebody sent me today, I'm not going to say your name, you're on here, saying, send me a note about somebody that wanted to know about some health malady. And I said, and I'm going to text back, I haven't even done it yet, and I'm going to say, okay, here's a video to go watch on that health malady. I Googled it, here's a video. Go to the health evaluation, put that data in there, and you're going to you have got to take shortcuts. Because I am going to bury you people in leads. I'm going to bury you. You're not going to have time to act like Dr. Kevorkian anymore. Or Dr. Wallach, I'm sorry. You're not. Your job isn't to be the doctor. Your job's to be the tour guide and the talent scout. They don't believe you anyway. Kim Vincent, I talked to her about 2 or 3 different things inside of longevity, and I could read her mind. She says, looking at this guy, I got to go Google what he says because there's no way I'm listening to him. He looks like he got, I mean, you know, that's that simple. No one believes that. Nobody believes you. Unless you're a naturopathic doctor like Claire Kelway Bergman, who's on this page. And the last thing that Claire wants to be is a naturopathic doctor, and she is one. That's for her day job. She's in this business to get rid of that day job so she can change the world, not just the people over there in her town. You know what I mean? Does that make sense to everybody? I am not wrong about this. So, Marianne, I'm thrilled you're buried, but I want you to bury yourself more. Pamela, I'm thrilled you're buried, but I want you to bury yourself more and keep going to where you can make a difference. And once you get that, man, this morning I was at the coffee shop and I interviewed a guy who was terrific, and we can call him on the phone right now if you guys want. He was tremendous. And he's got no interest in, he doesn't even know what I do. But he was telling me about his mother, who's 77 years old, who he loves with all of his heart and who he wants to keep healthy. And he said, please tell me about this, Dr. Wallach. Where can I get information? And my job is to drop the information to him and get the heck out of there. If he wants to come back and build a business one of these days, he's going to call me on the phone and do that. But other than that, I've got to let the tools do the work and just follow up to make sure that he followed the tools. Does that make sense? It's so cool. It works. It works. I'll call the guy. I got like phones running out of my ears. Jose. All I got to do is learn how to spell Jose. J-O-S-E, right? I'll call him. And this is what did I say his last name was? Sanchez or something. Damn. Jose. Don't move. Stay with me.
I just put a question up, honey.
Chavez. Okay, I'll get it there in a second. Do you want me to call the guy first or do that? What's the question? What's your build? Yeah, I'm gonna put a survey monkey out to all you guys before Adrian and I head to graduate school, because I'm gonna make dang sure that there is no way on earth that you guys ever feel like you are abandoned or you're not doing it. I have to show you by example. You have to be able to see that you can do it. Cindy Malone, how's all the cats? How's your sidekick? How's everybody doing? Are you still driving Uber? It's very good to see you. Now I'm calling Jose. It was Chavez, not Sanchez. After 5 years. Here he goes. Let's see what he has to say.
Hello?
Jose, it's Tom Chenault. I met you this morning at Red Frog.
Oh, yes.
I just wanted to tell you that I put together a package for your mom with some samples, and I left it there. So you'll be able to, I might have overloaded you with information, but I just wanted to make sure I crossed every T and dotted every I. So it's there at Red Frog waiting for you.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
No, I lost you.
Okay, good. I left the package at Red Frog Coffee for you, for your mother, and a bunch of samples so she can listen to a Spanish CD and actually figure out if these minerals and vitamins are going to work for her. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And then I sent you those texts for her to take to listen to Dr. Wallach and take the health evaluation. So I'll call you in a few days and follow up, but I love the fact that you're working at SpectraLink and taking such good care of her, man. I've got nothing but respect for you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. You're rolling. It's there waiting for you, and thanks for taking my call.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, bye-bye. So he wasn't overly enjoyed to hear, he wasn't overjoyed to hear from me. He didn't think he won the Colorado lottery because I called him back. Is he going to turn into a customer? Possibly. If I'm really, really nice to him and there's a difference made with his mother. Adrian, you still here anywhere? Or is he on? Is he on? It doesn't matter because I did what I needed to do there. He didn't contact me about building a business. I took the interview as far as it would go. I know what he wants. My job was to drop him off right where he wanted to be. I left the information for him, and it's his to do with what I do. But he's one of hundreds of people on my follow-up list. And what I'm telling you guys is that's what you fill that pipeline with so many names that when somebody tells you no, I was talking to Claire this morning about Shar. And Shar had a prospect that was really, really, really working, and it looked like it was going to go crazy. And all of a sudden, that lady fell out of the game, and it's going to be a while before she's there. Is that right, Claire? Unmute her. Okay, yeah, she's nodding. Is she unmuted? Okay, so the reason I say, so Claire, is that what happened?
Yes, Shaw's on here, I think.
I saw her, so I wanted to go through the order.
Yeah.
So as a result of that, you and I were talking about that, but neither one of us were very stressed out because Shar's got like 80 people on her list at this point because
she has a pipeline full. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's got 41 days times 2, so she's got 81 names. When you've only got one name on your list, Marinko, remember those days? And all of a sudden somebody said no, you have to call the suicide hotline. But when you've got 82 names on your list, you're almost like Marianne and Denise and Pamela saying, thank you, I can take you off the list and keep this thing moving. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that way you don't have to sign up your cat like Angie Rubeck. Is that a cat? Is that a cat? Yes or no? Okay, good. I couldn't figure out what it was, and it was freaking me out. I didn't know. Yeah, there it is. That's the cat. That is so cute. This is Bring Your Cat to Work Day, which is, there's nothing better than that. But at the end of the day, you guys, this is so doable if you'll fill up that pipeline. But what Denise hit the nail on the head just now when she said, tell us what is stopping you. And I look at Hanny. Hanny, are you in the Philippines? Say yes or no on the screen. Are you there? What time is it in the morning? What time is it? This is so awesome. So I'm going to be in the Philippines. I'm going to be meeting with Hanny's people. That's what's so beautiful about this. So I'm going to the Philippines like in 2 weeks. So I don't even know how to, 7:53 a.m. Well, that's okay. I'm not even feeling sorry for you anymore. That's cool. Just the morning. Beautiful. But this is what it's all about, you guys. We are one team, one dream. And you don't have to rely on me. You guys know as well as I do, 99% of the people that you guys are talking to are going to hate me. I'm going to run them out the door. But there's somebody on this page they're going to love. And all you need to do is the arrow. Pull out the arrow called Marinko. Pull out the arrow called Claire. Pull out the arrow called Jill. Pull out the arrow. Jill is so beautiful. Look at her. Jill McCourty. She's just unbelievable. Look at Dr. Ipe. He's on here with his beautiful wife. He's looking a little, he doesn't have his camera on. But at the end of the day, every one of you people, this is like a giant AA meeting. We are here to help everybody. And I was reading something about that. There's nobody, we're all in the same boat here. We're all in the same foxhole. We all got here different ways. There's doctors on here. There's Harvard educated people on here. It's unbelievable. And then you get down to the other end of the spectrum to get to me. Literally almost, I barely got out of high school by the skin of my teeth. I dropped out of about 5 colleges because they didn't like drinking. And here I am. I'm on the other end of that in the intellectual spectrum. But you know what? I had one thing that most people don't have. I got the gift of desperation. And I so want you guys to have the gift of desperation where you'll do literally anything to be successful at this. Anything. That might mean reading Eric Worre. That might mean making this thing like your go-to book. It might mean really, really diving into this thing and find out why you're repelling people instead of attracting them. And I promise you, you are going to find out you are repelling people instead of attracting them because you are talking at them instead of to them. There's Dr. Ipe. Do you believe me? Look at Dr. Ipe, anesthesiologist, the guy behind the Ladara skincare products, has an anti-aging place. He's the other end of the fit as a fiddle. Look at the guy. Unbelievable. So what's that book about, The One Thing? Would somebody talk about that? You want to talk about that, Pamela or Denise? Unmute them both, Marianne. Why do you guys love that book so much? Somebody talk.
Well, it's great. First of all, Denise is the one, you and Denise brought this in for our 65 days in a wake up, because the idea is that in the course of an average of 66 days, we will have changed our behaviors into habits. They become natural things for us to do on a regular basis. And that's the whole point of doing the 2 coffee shop interviews every day and 1 3-way through the 65 days in a wake up program. And so the GoPro book study first for our trip to Las Vegas, as well as, getting to understand what we need to do in order to become professional network marketers. But then we also now are doing The One Thing as our next book study. And I really love it because it talks about getting rid of the stuff that you don't need and keeping the one thing that you do need, and looking every single day at the things you have to get done in order to create a successful future that you have in your vision.
Oh, that's very cool. Does everybody understand that? Did you follow? Denise, what was your take on that book?
Well, am I muted?
No.
I'm unmuted. Okay, yeah.
No, you're not. We're listening to you.
No, I said, am I unmuted?
You're
Yeah,
unmuted.
I am unmuted. I see that. Yeah, I'm leaning over. Let's see. These are the last 3 books that I read, but there we go. The One Thing right there. And you can see, this is what I do. I tab them. I have all sorts of little, but I'm always reading things from the standpoint of how can we use this information and apply it to what we do. So even, I read Brene Brown, Braving the Wilderness, and you wouldn't think the quest for a true belonging and the courage to stand alone. So you read that and you think, well, what does this have to do with network marketing? And it always has something to do with what we do, because, it takes brave people to step into being a network marketer and to do what we do, And so, yeah, The One Thing, I read it quite a while ago, but I can always get something out of it. And so, yeah, that was one of the things that, Marianne, would you like to say something?
I would. So one of the things, because I read it and I've started, it over again because we're doing this book club, but it's a little bit more than what's the one thing that I can do that I won't have to do all these other things, right? What's the most important thing? I was just looking for the quote. Do you have the quote in there, Pamela? Do you have the book? My book's at home, but it's like, such as that I don't have to do all these other things. So I think sometimes we have all these things that we think we have to do when really we just have to do this top level thing, and all those other things don't even have to happen. Does that make sense? And I think that's one of the things that I really took away from this book. And I just can't remember.
No, he says you don't have to be, to get to the top of your game in any one area, you don't have to do everything right. You just have to do a few things proficiently, Right. And so, yeah, that's, anyway, and he talks about discipline and, that about creating habits, and yeah, it's a terrific book.
One of the things that I really liked that was in the front of the workbook, and Og Mandino is one of my favorite authors too. The Greatest Salesman in the World is one of my favorite go-to books, and going through it over and over and over again to the point of reading the same chapter every day for a month at a time. So that's something very big. But he is quoted in the beginning of the workbook, which is part of what we'll be doing through the book study. But Og Mandino says, it is those who concentrate on one thing at a time who advance in this world. And the truth is, you can't do more than one thing at a time and be successful at it. So the whole thing about multitasking is a lie. So we're being taught in the working world that we're supposed to be multitaskers, and that's a good quality to have, and that makes us good at nothing when we multitask. And so it's very important to stay focused on the things that you need to do. And it's hard because we're all busy. Like, Tom is saying about what Marianne is saying, that we've got so many things going on, and, keeping you together is enough of a responsibility. But all that together is, you have to think about, what is the one thing that I can do today? And I like that, being able to break it down into little daily increments. Why 65 days and a wake up works, because if you do this one day at a time, and that's why 12-step programs work. You do it one day at a time. If I can get through today without doing something that's bad for me, or if I can get through today by doing the things that are good for me, then I'm going to be better off. And then you do it again the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And it's great to be a Groundhog Day, because you're doing the same thing over and over again. If you've ever watched the movie Groundhog Day, finally, he figures it out and gets it right, and then he can move on in his life. And that's what this is all about.
You guys all good with that? All right, so here's the deal.
I saw that play on Broadway, by the way, Groundhog Day. It was awesome.
So those of you that are fighting through, somebody raise your hand that went to GoPro that just had an unbelievable experience, other than Pamela, who's already spoken. So one of you people that went to GoPro with us that earned it a 65 in a day wake up, raise your hand. And I want you to hear what happened, because we've got all these graduates coming through right now on 65 days in a wake up, and we're going to give you a free ticket to the GoPro women's event that Denise, I don't think she's speaking this year. I'm not sure about that, but we haven't heard anything yet. And we've really run our course. I mean, she's been on stage 3 times in the last 24 months, which is unheard of. And so hopefully they're letting other new people on the stage, and we've kind of told them that, but we're still going to go, and we're still going to be loud, and we're still going to be proud, and we want you to go with us. So what we're going to do is, we're going to not only accelerate the contest for you people in 65 days in a wake up, somebody hold up your award if you can from 65 days in a wake up, so people can see what you get. And the second, Pamela, you got yours, is that what it was? Put her on the screen, Marianne, please. Can you put her on the big screen?
I have more getting sent out. I had a little lull when we were in Costa Rica. So
it's hard to read it backwards, but what it says is, the things you are passionate about are not random. They are your calling. And that's Fabian Fredrickson.
Very cool.
Thank
so
you,
that's what we send. We send you that, and it's got a personal note from Denise with it, saying how much we love you. And then we give you a ticket to GoPro for women, and we're going to put together something for those graduates to go. The graduates didn't know that. So the people in grad school are going to get to go to GoPro, because we sure as hell don't want to go to GoPro without the grads with us. So we thought we'd announce that today. And so people like Claire and people like Shar and people that are graduating Marinko, all you people that didn't get to go now get to go to Vegas with us. And we are going to light it up again. And we want you to go. I mean, that's our goal. And we're also going to throw together a contest to go to Fardulis' deal. We want you to know that it took a lot of work to do 66 straight days of interviewing 2 and 3-way and 1. And we want to and you brought the rain, and you are our test tube babies. So who raised their hand? Did we get anybody that wanted to talk about GoPro that was there? Did you see anybody, Marianne? Like
Peggy Gleason wants to talk.
Peggy, where are you? Let me introduce her. Peggy, Dr. Peggy Gleason from Duke University, incredible nurse. Hanny is her sidekick, just has absolutely lit up the board, fought through it in 65 days in a wake up, had unbelievable circumstance on top of graduating and getting to Las Vegas. I love Dr. Peggy Gleason. Peggy, what happened to you as you did 65 and a wake up, as you came out of 65 and a wake up and went to Vegas? Tell me about who you are and this is. Hello.
That whole experience was so beyond my comprehension. I couldn't have imagined it as wonderfully as it turned out. You know, it was, well, first of all, Tony Robbins blew me away. He and Pitbull, they were so motivating and inspiring, and just all the different speakers. But the most incredible thing about it all was to look at, what was there, like 12,000 people or something crazy? But there was no, you couldn't get in with, you couldn't have a logo on anything. You couldn't even have a pen with longevity on it. It was truly the industry. And that's what I loved about it, was to be around all these like-minded people without knowing who's with what company, because it didn't matter. All it was about learning how to be better at what we are, to be better professional network marketers. Eric Pro was, Eric Pro, that's
Eric
good.
Pro.
Eric Worre, yeah, he was great. I just, ever since that, we've just been snowballing. You know, and Hanny, of course, you know, she's just blowing up the whole place. It's so exciting. I think we're both still on a high from November.
And that's what's so cool. And now we're going to get you to Vegas again. It isn't like yeah, not because, we can teach you, but until you see the other inmates in the asylum and realizing you're not alone, that's what makes all the difference. And so realizing that GoPro is nothing more than 65 days in a wake up, and realizing that 65 days in a wake up is nothing more than GoPro. Our job is to make you guys feel like you can do this. Because if somebody like me, I was talking to Kim Vincent today, and she was talking about finding those people. And I said, Kim, you already know those people. And all you need, and she's not in longevity, so all you people, please, she's a prospect. So whatever you do, don't start sending her private messages and trying to, she's my buddy here. And I met with her. She's in another company, and she's been having a hell of a time figuring out how to build a business. She's got these 2 kids. She's got this husband who makes a ton of dough. She wants to prove to him. She wants to prove to her dad. She wants to retire her husband. She wants to have her weekend. She wants to live her life. And I said, I don't blame you. And this industry can give that to you. But you can't, you got to realize what you're doing here. And you have, she's just like all of us. We keep thinking that if we sign up enough people and throw it against the wall, somebody's going to take the bait and make us a billionaire. And that is not going to happen. You've got to identify those people, make them feel like a first-round draft choice, and let them know that they're the most important people in the world. This morning I talked to Scott Fredwis, I talked to Corey Gold, I talked to Lorene Williamson, the people that are driving my personal business. They get the call first. I'm just like you. I don't have time to do 2 interviews a day. I don't have time to do 3-way calls. So I get up in the morning and I walk out the door. I got up this morning. We got home at 1:30 in the morning. I got up at 5:45. I was out the door doing the Hair on Fire call, then heading to AA, calling my leaders, doing everything I'm telling you to do that I don't have time to do because I have to do what I'm asking you to do. So my 2 interviews of the day for today, coming off of this long trip, one was Kim and the second was Jose, and we called them both. We didn't exactly call them. Kim's here. Unmute Kim, Marianne. We're going to put this woman on the hot seat whether she likes it or not. Hello, Kim.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me and inviting me, Tom. It was lovely meeting you today, Denise, as well. I don't know if I can't see if she's here, but yeah, what a morning. It was such an educational morning, and I saw Tom in action interviewing, and I just had my ears open and my mind open because I've been following Tom on Facebook and social media, and so I'd reached out to him just for some advice. And I saw him, how he interacted with people, and he looks for the pain, and that's what I learned today. Right? You find someone's pain point. You don't hit them with, you can earn $5,000-$10,000 a month if all they want is to get their mother healthy. So that to me was a wake-up call and very educational, because I've been in another company where it's run very, very differently, where it's just opportunity. So I'm looking for something else, and I was just very interested to hear what Tom had to share today. And he never shared a longevity with me at all. I asked him about it after listening and after us chatting for a while. So it was a lovely morning. I had lots of fun, and I'm happy to be here with all of you. So this is great.
You're welcome anytime. And that's so cool. And all we are really is, we're just a band of misfits trying to make it through one day at a time. And nobody's got it figured out. I don't have it figured out. I walked in that restaurant today and I saw how pretty you are and how fit you are, and I was immediately scared to death. I swear to God. Just like everybody on this wall, you were probably scared of seeing me. I mean, I was freaked out. I immediately sent Denise a text saying, man alive, this lady is so sharp, so nice, so right on the money. Would you please talk to her? Because I wanted to make sure that the credibility was there, because I didn't want to. It's just, we can't do this alone. That's that simple. I think about Jean Nordic over there in wonderful Kansas, and her and Lanny. And Jean is 84 years old, and she's been a one-star for 41 straight months. But I'll never forget when I talked to her about a year ago, and she was floundering a little bit. And I said, you know what, Lanny Sharp is the person you need to partner with that's going to take you to the next level, Jean. And every time I talk to Jean Nordic on the phone at age 84, all she tells me about is Willard, who she loves, who's out there loading trucks at age 85 for a living because he's on these vitamins and minerals, and Lanny Sharp because of the lifeline that Lanny Sharp is for her. And that's each and every one of us. You saw my son Dominic. He's sitting there with his mother. I'm so unbelievably proud of Dominic being on this thing, being a part of this. Understand that Dominic can interview his friends too, because everybody's got a gig. Everybody's working some sort of side hustle. We don't even call them part-time jobs anymore. No one's got a part-time job anymore. Now they have a gig. And so once I finally figured out what the hell a gig was, now I find out they've changed the word gig to side hustle. So everybody's delivering grocery packages for Amazon, delivering food for Whole Foods, driving Uber, cobbling jobs together because they all want to own their time. They don't want to be a hostage to a paycheck. And that's Dominic's gig economy. And my job is to teach Dominic that he can build that. He can be that leader. And he and his mom, we can do it together. And that's what we are, is one big happy family here. Anybody confused, Verna, when a three-way comes up. Okay, let me read what Verna just asked me because it's interesting. Yeah, Pamela Schwartz hit the nail on the head. You never know when the three-way time is right. I don't three-way with human beings on medical issues, not even Claire. I try not to have people even talk to Claire, because I know that even though Claire's a naturopathic doctor and Dr. Glidden's a naturopathic doctor, their time is valuable, and they want to build a business. So I never do three-way calls, and the reason 65 and a Wake Up let you use the three-way tool at the very beginning is because I know you're scared to death to do a three-way call. And I know that you don't have those half dozen people or dozen people that want to build a business that you want to do a three-way call with. But you will notice that today, I was petrified of Kim Vincent. And as a result of that, I had desperately had to bring some credibility to the conversation in case she was looking at me going, man, this guy's crazy. He's 66 years old. He's over the hill. I don't even know what the heck he's doing here talking to me. I had to get over there. So I took the three-way to Denise Chenault. And she walked into the house with Denise. They both sized each other up as unbelievably fit women. They connected just like that, and the rest is history. That, for me, was a three-way call because it did the job. It sealed the deal as far as us having credibility and that kind of stuff. So whatever you guys need, a three-way call on a phone call with me, most of you have done a three-way call with me. I make you send me the coffee shop interview in an email. I want to know their blood type before I speak to those people, and then I speak to them, not at them, for you on your behalf. And I'll do three-way calls for anybody, especially as you're getting going here. And then hopefully I can train your call partners to help you. And ultimately my best goal is to be able to train your upline to do the three-way calls. So this is all, so the people that are doing the work are getting paid for it. So that's my goal here. So it's beautiful and it works. Yeah, 69 days. Where are you? Mary, is your camera on? Your video today was so beautiful. Is Mary Nichols' camera on? Got it. Is it? Can you find her, Marianne? There's one name there that says Mary.
It just says Mary.
Yeah, Mary, is that you? Can you unmute your phone? She's kind of an amazing story here.
Hi.
Oh, Mary, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm at a computer without a camera. So.
I know it, but you're so beautiful. I saw your video today when you kind of spoke to how your life has changed. It was a lot like Marinko's video, and thank you. And you walked into this thing. You were not prepared for what happened to you, were you?
No, not at all.
Talk about that a little bit.
Well, just as I said in the video, with the unsynced voice and picture, who knows, just making the decision to finally go for it and not wanting to do day number one again and again, and the groundhog syndrome.
Yeah.
And after I finally got the hang of it, it's fun to talk to people. Now, if I could just get the rest of it going together.
No. Here's the deal, and don't you feel bad about that, because what we did at the very beginning, I was trying to teach you guys maybe geometry without teaching you addition and subtraction. And thanks God for Denise and Pamela Schwartz and a few other people that said, Tom, you're trying to get these people to run before they walk. And you now have the addition and subtraction. It's our job. So you now know how to interview people. You know how to document those interviews. Yeah. And now the next move is to powerfully follow up to turn that into business. You've got the touch points in the interviews. Our job is to teach you to have that conversation powerfully, so you're following up powerfully with everybody without them even knowing it. Yeah. And then the final piece of that is teaching you how to enroll those people into what they want to buy, not what you want to sell them. And then the final piece of that, back up to the geometry part, is identifying the actual business builders in the conversation and putting them in your business so they can all do the same thing. And like Claire's doing with Kevin and Shar in here right now, and I'm watching this, and like Peggy's doing with Hanny, and like the wonderful Pamela Schwartz is doing with Colleen Richter, Keith, and Emily, is that very thing where we're creating leadership duplication. But where my mistake was made is I was making you run before you walked, and that is on me. And that's what Denise, she's been harping at me the entire time to teach that. And it's so cool. Tonight, when we go to the training center, at 5:30 p.m. What time do we go to the training center? At 7 o'clock tonight. It's all presenter school. And what we do there is it's just personal development at hello, Emily, at a major league level. And she's my favorite 16-year-old girl going on how old? I can't tell how old she is. Not 16, but she acts like it. I'm telling you, she sold more Mia Alicia jewelry at the convention than Annalise Brown did, because she is a rock star. But the fact, and every day in this business is either take your cat to work day or take your daughter to work day, or in this case, Emily is calling it take your mother to work day, because she is that awesome. So she's 12 years old. Crazy. Yeah. So you guys, there's nobody we need to leave behind here. Nobody. We just got to instill the belief that, everybody says Marianne Niehaus can do it. Everybody says Pamela can do it. Everybody says that Denise can do it. Our job is to prove to you that you can do it by becoming your best authentic you, and get the sales out and get the relationship in and turn up that fun dial, and everything changes. That's all it is. Watching Claire fire her brain and hire her heart makes me cry. Makes me cry. Because nobody remembers the smart people. Nobody remembers the rich people. Everybody remembers the nice people. And one thing that happened with Kim today, this guy drives up in a brand new Porsche and has breakfast. And as he walks he walks over to the table and he reintroduces himself to me. He reintroduces me to his wife. I'm like, what's going on here? And they explained they were both nurses and going through all this jazz. But I did everything I could to be as nice as I could to him to get him out of there. And the reason I wanted to do that was because I had to make Kim know she was the most important person in the room. I'll get to those people when I get to those people. They're not going anywhere. But my job is to make that person who could be that business builder you've always been looking for feel like the most important person in the room, not just a numbers game like everybody else in network marketing tries to teach you, where you throw it against the wall and hope something sticks. If you guys, there's 4 boxes across the top of my screen. If I can get those 4 boxes, if I can get for my 4 top people making $5,000 a month each, I make 20. That's enough. But if I'm out there chasing every doggone barking dog and stray cat, showing off, telling everybody what a great interviewer I am or whatever it is, all we're doing is showing off. It's about relationships. It's about deep relationships. It's about taking people where they want to go in their life and being cause in that. When somebody trusts you enough to put up $499 and buy a mega CEO pack and look you in the eye and say, I want to build a business and you need to help me. When I say yes, I sure as hell better believe it. Just exactly like Shar did when Claire did that with her. Just like Kevin did when Claire did that with him. That's how this goes. Deep commitment. That makes sense to everybody? All right, we're at an hour. Record the presentation tonight. Of course, it's recorded. Here's where, and Marianne, tell these people, come on, this comes up all the time. Robin, the presentation school, we can't, because it's almost like an AA meeting. Marinko nod. I mean, it gets so deep that it's like
the only problem is that it's, well, first, even if we say, okay, what was it, a couple weeks ago, Tom and I both looked at each other, we're like, we're exhausted. Let's only do the meeting for, oh, I look just so lovely. Let's do the meeting for an hour. And we're like, yes, just an hour. And the meeting was like 2.5 hours. But it's, part of the magic is that we create real safety in the room. And so with the people who are there because, and you've been there and on the hot plate, so to speak. We have to create a real feeling of safety so that people can feel comfortable enough to step into their courage and face their fears around presenting. And so that's part of the reason why we can't.
And here's the deal with that. She's right. Any one of you that want to fly to Longmont stay in a hotel, hang out for a day, be on this call live like Kim did, come to presentation school, get up in the morning, go chase down people at Two Dog Diner and a Red Frog Coffee and walk with me if you want to. There's not one person that's ever done that says they didn't get their money worth.
Yeah.
One time Marianne and I went and we picked up trash all the way along Main Street, because we were gonna, that's the mood I was in that day, was picking up trash.
Yeah,
So you never know what's going to show up, but I can promise you, the whole deal. I'll talk about NASDAQ. Yeah. The whole thing was, that's what I want you to do. Come down here. If you don't have the training center, if you don't have presentation school, if you don't have that vibe in your town, come to Longmont, spend the day, and then put it in your town. Remember the gift of desperation? Will you do anything? Come. I'm not going to let you pay for a meal. I'm not going to leave you on the beach. Come down and hang. Marinko's done it. Let me look at the board. A lot of people have. So NASDAQ, I'm not here's the deal. On the stock part of this thing, I am not a stockbroker anymore. I used to be one, and I don't care about the stock of longevity. I care about the fact that you can buy a little piece of the rock called longevity. I don't know if it's going up or going down, and I'm not here to tell you whether you should buy it today or sell it today. But I will tell you that ringing of the bell at NASDAQ was as big a thing for longevity as anything that's happened in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Because on the Fox News, you had Mary Lou Henner talking on Fox News, and the banner below was longevity is this and the longevity is that, and several talk shows like that. And then you went out there on Times Square, and there's pictures that, they've got Scott Fardulis and longevity and Dave and Sunshine and Steve and Michelle and all the leaders. They're on that 7-story NASDAQ wall. This company came of age at that day, and I'm very, very proud of it. I think it's the greatest. You can't buy publicity like that. And if you don't have screenshots of that, and if you aren't using that to build your business, you're crazy, because it set us apart from almost literally every company. And what Dave Brisky's going to try to do next is let people buy the longevity stock almost like they're buying Bitcoin. Marianne Niehaus's husband bought $50 worth of Bitcoin the other day. And then he liked it a little more, and he bought $50 more. In the normal world of stock brokerage, you don't have, a broker is going to charge you $75 to buy it, $75 to sell it, and by the time you get done with the commissions, the stock's got a quadruple. But at the end of the day, with the way that they're setting this thing up with longevity, they're going to let you buy whatever increment you want to buy with no commission, and they're actually going to give you a product kicker with it. And that's what Dave, it's never been done before. But Dave Brisky is so committed that we have a distributor shareholder base that are married to the stock. It's unbelievable. And I think it's a heck of an idea that he's coming up with, and it's going to blow people's minds. And that's it. So, and those of you that are writing me notes on private messaging, talking to me about their husbands and saying, my husband's not bought into this. It's exactly like your next door neighbor. Your husband's going to be bought in when you're all in and you're creating results. That's it. Your wife is going to do that. And it may take today, it may take next year. But if you're waiting for your husband, or if you're waiting for your upline, or if you're waiting for longevity, or if you're waiting for me, you lost. You can't. That's the gift of desperation again. That's it. You got to find it. You got to do it. Come hell or high water, no matter who's there to help you or not, because you're that committed to this thing and you believe in it at that level. Wait for no one. That's my advice on that. Read the question above. Take it from me. Don't wait for your spouse. That's from Peggy Gleason. The question right above it. How do you deal with people who think you are out to date them when you do the interview and make them feel like they're the most important person? Very simple. Tell them the product's cured AIDS. That's a joke. No, That was a joke. You know, if they're out to date you, if you would say that, I guarantee you, they're going to say ixnay on the date K. That was a feeble attempt at humor if nobody got it. So here's the deal. You know, if you're putting out a date vibe, you're going to, you know, no one ever, you know, and I'm 100 and it's not possible. Kill the date vibe right off the gate. Say, I'm telling you what, I'm not in this. I'm in here to build a business. I'm not in here to find romance. I'm in here to find a relationship. Be that straight. Don't beat around the bush. If the guy says, I'm not going to deal with this thing unless I date you, say, fine. See you in the fall, if at all. I don't care who you are. You could be a chick magnet like Jack Barassa. I don't care who you are. I promise you, you can evade that date thing. You know, and those of you that are constantly playing that Weinstein vibe, it's terrible. Don't do it. Don't be that. Don't be that person. Be classy, have integrity, take it up to the next level. Does that make sense to you? So Dominic is shaking his head. I understand. I don't understand what that was all about. I must have said something stupid. So, all right. Good. That's awesome. Beautiful. All right. That's cool. Anybody else got anything they want to yell at me about? Anything I can help with before we get out of here? I got to take my Metamucil and get ready for the presentation school. Anybody? No questions? Okay. 1 hour. Hanny, if you won't come to Longmont, I'm coming to you. And if you're in the Philippines, so be it. And you guys, all over it, wherever, you know somebody that knows somebody in the Philippines or in Japan or in China. And if you don't, go to a Chinese restaurant tonight, do that. Say, you got any restaurant, we're going to go over, what kind of restaurant's that place I love? I always get it wrong. The Taste of Thailand, is that the name of that restaurant?
Indian.
Oh, it's the Taste of India. Am I going there?
Tom's like, let's go have Chinese. I go, you mean Indian?
Yeah, I have no idea. I am totally ethnically blind. I am so bi. I'm bipartisan. I'm just bi. I'm bi all things. It's unbelievable. Anybody else got anything?
No, on that note.
I sent my information to Ansley. So now Ansley has sent me like 10 messages asking me what my why is. But I will send it to her, Robin. I promise you. I sent her my contact card, which I promised I would. And it says who I am and all I'm about. And somehow she wants me to say what my why is. And I want to write something powerfully for her. And I will do that. So tell Ansley I love her. Thank you. I love you, Ansley. Yeah, my contact, I already sent it to her. Anybody that wants my contact info, just text me and I'll send it back to you. I love you guys with all of my heart. This is the greatest business in the world. This was probably the most worthless hour of your life, which is beautiful because every one of you are saying to yourself right now, if that guy can do it, I can do it. So I've done my job. Does that make sense to you? Yes. Cindy, I got your text. I talked about that earlier and I'll talk about it again. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. So it's a stone cold fact. We've got a better way. See everybody tomorrow. Kim Vincent, take your vitamins. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tom. Bye.
Thank you.
On the weekends, I haven't had time to do that, but I love going to stuff like that. I love food stores too.
Love you guys.
Bye. From the Philippines. Oh, but I just, like I said, this.
Bye, Tom. Bye, Peggy. Bye, Tom,
is
Denise.
to
Marian, everyone. Love you, love you.
Restore, revive, regenerate,